Well, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, March 5th, and let's see if markets can do another turnaround today and continue higher.
Yeah, so far we've got a lower low, and then we had a slightly higher high and a slightly higher low. So let's see if we can amplify this into a bigger trend.
Yeah, I mean, things are a little bit still cooling off a little bit from I would say, like last month. So
Yeah,
we'll see if there could be some kind of bottom formation going on this week and next week and whatnot to continue its journey higher.
we're certainly looking that way. I mean, we're looking for it. A lot of things hit really like important supports, like you've been telling us the last couple of days, and you'll probably tell
Yeah,
us
a
again
lot of
today.
things have.
Those
Well, I mean,
50 week
things,
moving averages.
yeah, those 50 weeks, the clouds, the everything. And with that said, I can just start with the SPY. And yeah, nothing really has changed since last time you saw us last night when we talked about this. Basically, the baseline is still kind of acting as a support zone at 576.60 on the weekly chart here. It is kind of losing some momentum though because now the conversion line is kind of sloping down right now. So we got to just pay attention to that. So I don't really, it's really going to start to rebound high. I think what we're looking at is just trying to see if stuff can stabilize and then perhaps build a base. But if not, then perhaps a little bit lower first before higher, maybe even to the 5Cs for the SPY. And the QQQ, same situations, right at support right now. You got the 497 right there, and that's where it's at, basically pre-market. So it's at an important zone to hold, because if it doesn't, then yeah, it's going to keep drifting lower too. Everything, and the conversion line is sloping down too a little bit, so we have some loss of weekly momentum. But with that said, let's just see if things can stabilize around current price. Maybe not just go higher, but just see if they can stabilize. And perhaps if it needs to go to or even a little bit lower, then that's still okay too. Just searching for its higher low somewhere in this vicinity. But the good news is for IWM is the monthly chart finally touched the monthly baseline for the first time since it broke out in December of 2023. So that was well over a year, right? Well over a year that it didn't touch the baseline until yesterday. So I like that we got that over with, and we'll see if things can now stabilize and actually try to actually get back above the this 212 right here on the 618, and then perhaps try to just break one resistance level at a time.
Yep. And
So yeah,
yeah,
where do you want to
I
start?
watched. Let me see what I can divine with my spine chart.
Yeah,
Like,
I watched Trump's speech last night. Did you watch it?
yeah, I watched the whole thing from beginning to end.
Yeah,
Let's
very,
see.
very good.
So let's look at the spine on the weekly here. So one way of looking at what I've got here is it could be a leading diagonal here, just ending this push up here. This kind of looks like whenever you have here, this wave four kind of came really close to that wave one. And if that's really a five top, that's a diagonal. I mean, it should have gone a little higher before dropping back. So the one thing you want to look for is if there's an ABC here. I'm just trying to give you like a heads up on what could happen. Maybe I should do this on a daily chart. Let's go to a daily chart. Yeah, because I didn't quite do it like that. So if this is your A, and that was all of your B, the C could go lower. But what we want to see, if we have bottomed, Let me just get rid of this. Then you'll be looking for a recovery ABC, at least to start off with. Maybe up to this Ichimoku 8 hour baseline, and then you want to see it get higher. But if it kind of gets stuck there, what am I trying to say? The thing, the scary thing. No, 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 no. I'm doing this all wrong. You want to see something like those AB. No, this doesn't look right either. What I'm trying to say is, if it doesn't, if it stops at a significant point like this moving average 75 here, and gets rejected, and then falls below this baseline, yeah, let's just say that. If it goes from where we are now and can get above both these conversion baselines, you want to see it get support back to the baseline. And if it loses that, um, I don't know, I might be inclined to at least sell a few things off to raise more cash in case it does make a new lower low. But that's just if you want to, be tricky and try to trade around what's going on. Overall, we're just looking for something where this is maybe actually just the wave for extended out and it's ready to go up higher. That's what I really like to see. Is we just have to get proof. Yep, something like that. I don't know. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, I understand that. Like with the SPY, it's really just it's lost momentum, but yeah, it's just got to reclaim some resistance and flip it back to support. Otherwise, it might just keep gravitating lower. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, what we're definitely looking for is making a higher high, a higher low, and then a higher high again, and then a higher low, and that's real bullish, constructive recovery action.
Yeah.
What we don't want to see is kind of like what we already had: down, lower high, lower low, even. But then I don't know. This looks like it's just like you said, Matt. It looks like they're just distributing up here. I'd like to believe
Yeah.
that this is before it just goes off. But we have to see. We have to be
Yeah, I
cautious.
would
But
too.
that's
I,
where we're at.
yeah. Yeah, I would too, but I don't know if we're there just yet. Like the only thing that looks beautiful to me was the IWM hitting that monthly baseline, but everything else on monthly charts, SPY and QQQ still extended from even their conversion lines. So there could still be a little bit more pain for those, I think, but we'll find out. Let me just jump on
Oh yeah.
to let me just jump onto Tesla real quick before we take some of those requests. And so Tesla pre-market, yeah, I saw that the private jobs was 77 versus 140. So weak, right? But this is basically all I'm paying attention to for Tesla, right? Just the 50-week moving average right now. And well, not the only thing, because there's also the 702 fib that I'm paying attention to. So a couple of levels here. Um, we got, let's just take off this line. We got the 702 at 272.79, and we got the 50 week at 265.85. So we're really trying to find a floor here, and that's basically all I'm focused on is seeing if it can just hold, right? Because it cut through one support level every week so far. So this could be the first week to stop that trend, and if it stops that trend, then and that's when I'll focus on a bottoming process, and then we can probably try to build. So 272 down to 265, that's still your support for the week. So nothing really is changing, but if it can stabilize, then that'll be great. But I don't know if it's really ready to skyrocket just yet because there still is a lot of resistance back above here. So the best case scenario would be closing back above this 295 right here. We'll see the 618 on the linear scale. But if that cannot happen, then we might spend a little bit more time down at the lower levels here trying to find a floor.
That's funny. That's exactly what I've got here on my little Tesla 4 hour chart. I did a little, TGM retracement levels here from the 261.84 bottom we had. back to the $304.42 more recent high, and right here, this the 78.6 is at 295.31. If we get back above it, I'll be ready to say that this was the bottom. But right now, it'll probably be resistance. And with the jobs report, like you said this morning, we're kind of in this triangle right here where it needs to break out over 283, which is the 50% level of this retracement here.
Oh yeah,
So let's see if we can get over 283 and up to 295.
yeah.
And
I
if
mean
not,
that's
if we can't get any higher than 283, then that could be lower.
yeah, that's
If
step by
it's
step.
stuck here, then it might go step by step.
We'll see.
We're trying not to jinx it.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to jinx it,
I mean,
but I do like the. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. I mean, I do. Yeah, I also like how it's just trying to stabilize right now, and it's not really going lower. But we'll see. I don't want to jinx it. Let's just let the week play out.
Yeah, lines here. Okay, sorry.
No worries. I do see a request
What else we got
for
here?
HUMA. I got that on deck here. So
Yeah, yeah.
HUMA. This chart. I think what we're gonna do here is just maybe pull up a fib right here and just show you that it is battling this 236, and this 236 is kind of important. You can even put on the Ichimoku and see that it's underneath everything, even the SMAs, it's underneath everything. So that fib is basically holding it together. So it is below it right now, and the 328 is going to be the to stay above. Could be another little tweezer bottom here. It's in a demand zone with previous lows, so it has potential to hold, right? But if it does hold, it could just take a while before it gets back up to the resistance zones above in the $4 range. So has a chance to hold, but I think it's kind of necessary to stabilize in this zone, and best case scenario would stay above the 328 by Friday.
Yep. I kind of have a similar thing for Humacyte, just by Elliott wave pattern off the bottom and a higher high and a higher low. Uh, if it went really bullish, it would go up to 764 at $9.44 next. After battling $6.29 at the 382, if that's going to foreshadow as support later, it's going to be resistance right here on the way up there. But it could also do a thing where it goes 382, 236, and then 1236. So I guess just watch each of these levels. If it has struggles to get over $4.97, then maybe it's just going to go to the 382, back to the 236, and then it just explodes up to the 123.6. So this is if it does the 764, and this is like what it would be like if it did the 382, 236, 1236, all the way back to the 764, and then the 2236. So here you go, two possible paths from. It's got to keep this higher high, and it does have a tweezer bottom so far. So that's pretty promising. I mean, literally hit the same price 2 months in a row. Wow, these are monthly candlesticks. Yeah. As far as MCDX goes, it's still kind of high on the retail side, so the the institutions aren't really buying up big yet.
Yeah. I got XRP on deck. There's really no change from when I talked about it last night, right? It's just staying above the 886, the 227's kind of building a nice base up there. Did already test the baseline twice, so that's a good thing. So it's just a waiting game to continue to build that base top of that 225 before it goes higher. There's really nothing to pay attention to except watch 225, right? That zone, because every wicks below it, it kind of recovers quickly. So it's been the trend. So far, the trend is your friend before it's ready to break into all-time highs. So with that said, nothing really new developing there.
And I've got DXYZ here, Destiny, the, the the fund that has a little bit of SpaceX in it. And it completed what I call 5 waves up, and in its ABC retrace did a perfect. Well, it wicked just a little bit low, a 61.8% retrace, but then the body of it closed right back above it again here so far this week, and so it's looking pretty good for the 618 to hold it here at 3507. So let's see, did I do my projection yet? Oh, I've got to adjust it. There you go. Oh no, I did adjust it. All right, so if it goes really bullish, 764382. Oh, it looks like I wanted to do a 1236 here. Yeah, let's look for $63 next for the 618. Back to the 236 at 4405. 94.70. Back to 70.80, and then up to 145.35. And so you can see the damage it kind of did. It kind of pulled it down about almost 100% of the move I was expecting to the top there. By oh no, here now it's down here. ABC. Yep. I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning. Apparently, my brain's just a little sluggish for some reason. But yeah, this is what I would be looking for if it can hold this bottom at $32.10. If it goes no lower, then this is the kind of move up I would expect to see in Elliott waves.
Yeah. All right.
Gosh, is this my cost? I think this is my cost way up here, $66.
Yeah, it's coming to a point where it's looking like it's near a support, in my opinion. All right, I got Robinhood on deck next.
Yeah, good.
With my Robinhood. So where's a good entry point? Well, I think if you were looking at it, that was yesterday, right? It went back down yesterday to the baseline, right there at 46. Really was it? No, it was like 42.80s, right? That was your chance, right? It's just a wick below that, and now it's just in the middle of a range, so it's just floating there. So yeah, if it ever went back down there to the 43, 42, maybe even back down to the 40, the 702, that would be a good place. But yeah, it was a good spring from that baseline. It was a first touch in a long time since when it broke out back in September of 2024. So there we go. But the goal is to kind of still stay above the 786 if it can on a weekly candle close. So that's what I'm really watching for Robinhood. But yeah, sometimes you got to it's got to be more about timing. And right when it was flushing down to the 42, 43 yesterday, that would have been the perfect opportunity.
That's still not bad if you buy it now, if you want to enter now.
Yeah.
My Robinhood chart, it's just a clearly bullish chart. It's just like running up and up and up. Here's my moving average 75 coming down from when it was down around $8 a share, and it's just been trending up. And the Ichimoku conversion line's been riding over the baseline, and that's still where we're at. We just had a baseline touch this past week. I guess yesterday. And so, yeah, it still looks really good. A bounce from here, and we could get, let's see, I just have to adjust this again. Yeah, I'm looking for, 79.28 next would be a 618 extension higher. The test back to the 236 at $56. 1236, 764, and 2236. So that's like from where price is right now. If it goes up in 5 waves, that's 290% higher than it is now. Just to this wave one top is 72% higher. Just to get over the 23.6% fib, that's got to be support later. It's resistance on the way up. That's 22% higher just to get to that resistance testing. So yeah, it looks pretty good right here. Oh, and the whales love it. The institutions are still way outstripping the amount of institutional buyers.
Retail.
I mean, institution, yeah, right, retail, thank you.
Retail, yeah. All right,
retail.
MicroStrategy on deck next. So this is notice that Danny has a black hole on his daily chart. Possibly, I haven't even seen it, but it is just a volatile stock anyway. So I think that just implies volatility is coming, and it's yeah, it's been retesting this 1.272, the 245.46 for multiple weeks now, and it's holding. So that could mean that it might be time to try to break some resistance above starting one, then the conversion line right up here, right around 319, and then the baseline around the 330s, right? And then the ultimate goal is once it's back above 340, then I think it's ready to go much higher. But until then, yeah, the volatility can be in this range, anywhere from 245 up to 340. So this is a very volatile name, but um, if this support is holding right here, that kind of bodes well for Bitcoin, in my opinion, too, that the bottom could be in. So if 245 holds, then I think the bottom Bitcoin is in, which means that I think it's going to start building a base and eventually go higher. So that's what I'm looking out for. Stay above 245, and it's going to probably break above the 300 soon. And all it's doing is just finding a higher low, getting closer to the weekly cloud here before it's really going to make its next leg higher. So I'm not concerned about MSTR, but it just might take a little bit more time before breaking out. So we'll see. I mean, Bitcoin's back at 89,451, and going to a Bitcoin chart, it's holding this 45-degree angle perfectly. Lots of wicks below it. I love to see it. So we're still going to see if it can close the week back at 91,158. And if it can do that, then guess what? It's never closed a weekly candle below it if it does that. So this could be a very bullish setup for the future with a tweezer bottom for Bitcoin, which could be a very bullish setup for MicroStrategy too. So I am not concerned about it at all. And if Bitcoin does reclaim this 91,000, then I think things will start accelerating to the upside.
Yep. My MicroStrategy chart is pretty much just like Matt's because, weekly Ichimoku cloud, same thing. Uh, we've got kind of a temporary bearish cross of the conversion line to the baseline, but it won't take much to push it back up. We just have to kind of go higher here. And the moving average 75 on the weekly chart is just still trending up. I don't know why it's flattening out a little bit here, but I kind of expect it should kind of keep coming like this. And then maybe if it just gets touch of that moving average 75 somewhere in this zone, maybe that's where it'll just start setting it back up again. But regardless of timing, if this holds down here at 225 for the bottom, then I'm looking for at least 351.22 as a resistance for the 23.6% fib extension. And if we could do 382.236, then we could spring up to the, this should be 1236. Anyway, sorry, I got the numbers wrong there. And then back to 764, and then the 2236. What is going on? I think, let me put it all back to the way I had it. I think I might have been trying to copy what happened. If we got a fractal of what happened on these 5 waves up, this is exactly what that would look like duplicated again. It did this weird thing where it went 382, 236, 100%, 50%, and then 200%. So if we got exactly these 5 waves repeated, that's what that would look like. But it could easily do 429, 351, then 886. We'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. But 351 is that first big resistance I'm looking for it to hit and turn it into support.
Very good. All right, I got Ethereum here. Somebody's asking for the 2x ETF of Robinhood ROBN. I mean, that one, for me, it's a little bit too little of data to do anything with. But if you want to work on that, and I'll do Ethereum real quick.
Yeah.
And with Ethereum, we can see that it's holding the 50% level here, the 2069. It did even go below 2,000, got everybody panicking. But you know what? Look at what this is. This is a previous resistance, and you can go back in time. It's kind of a support too. And it was a breakout, and it never back tested it ever until yesterday. So what does that really imply? That implies a successful back test, even though it's below all the averages. But when we go to the monthly chart, I think Ethereum, it's just holding inside the cloud here, and it's doing what it's doing, right? It's just building a nice foundation at a previous resistance zone, flipping to a support, working on building a base inside the bottom of the cloud, and then probably do something like this: go back up to resistance, go stay in the cloud before it's really ready to go higher. So just give it a few more weeks, months, whatever, and this will become a more and more bullish chart. So I cannot hate it too much, and I do like something that uh, backtests a previous breakout level. That's the times I like to buy the most, and that's what's happening to a lot of coins and a lot of stocks, even Tesla. It's breaking down back to towards a previous breakout level. So that is really opportunities in my eyes, because market structure is still fine, still higher highs, higher lows from the bottom here, right? Higher high, higher low, and so on. Thing is too scary with this one at all. And I think this 20, or not 20, this 2000 is really crucial to hold for building a base to go higher.
Very cool. Thanks. I did build that ROBN chart here.
Yeah.
40, 1450. Hang on a second. Just have to adjust this. All right. So I basically, all I've got to go on is a retrace from if 1450 was the low back to its previous all-time high of 3751. It looks like because of the way the weekly baseline, I'm sorry, the 8-hour Ichimoku baseline is it's going to be stuck right on about this level until it makes a new higher high. So that comes up right to the 50% level. So I think 2601 is your first resistance. Then it's going to send it back down to probably wherever the conversion line is. So that's probably going to move around somewhere between the 382 and the 236. And that'll send up to the 786 for 3259. And then maybe it's got to, miss the first time. I'm not sure exactly how low this will go, but I don't know. Maybe you'll get a fibs distance between these two. Back up to 100%. Resistance at the all-time high sends it back down to this level at the 886, and then maybe up from there it can go to either Matt's 127.2 or 141.4, somewhere either this one or this one. So I guess watch for this one first. But that's what I would predict for Robin here. This 2x hood long ETF.
All right. I see some more requests coming in here for OLO. And with that said, here is the OLO. And we can pull this up and see it's finally on top of a lot of support, previous support. And if we do a quick little fib up here from the bottom to the top to the bottom, you can see where it got really rejected. It got rejected right at that 236, the 752. Tried to flip a 2 support, but could not. So now it's trying to hold the baseline. We'll see if that holds. That's kind of around current price, maybe 640s. And if it can't hold, then there's a ton of support to backtest down here in the 580s, 570s, 560s, right? So I think if you're looking for a really nice back, I think this zone really kind of bodes well, simply because if you just draw a previous support here, flip to resistance, that zone would be a perfect flip back to a support. So I do like the 570s, I think, for OLO if it were to get back down there for a successful back test. But with that said, we can do KITT as well. Nautics, and this is a falling knife and something that I don't even want to chart. So with that said, tracker. Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have in requests? I think we've got all the requests so far.
Yeah. Do you have an opinion on KITT? Because I don't like to touch these at all.
Oh, let's take a look.
Yeah.
KITT. I give this one just a little more time. It's not really formed a base yet. It does look like it's kind of slowing down into a price. You could venture a small position just to see what you could get. Instead of doing a retrace all the way to the all-time high, let's just look back to maybe this one right here. So I'm just going to take a fib retracement line and pull it from this recent bottom up to here. So, oh yeah, there's the 50% level where the moving average 75 is. So let me just accurately push this out. So, look for an ABC retrace that looks something like 382, 236, 618, maybe 618. And probably the timing of this is this A wave will probably touch the top of this moving average 75 once it gets down to here. So yeah, you could venture a position in this, but like I said, it could also, I mean, it could end up sort of staying along the bottom here for a while. So don't expect anything really fast out of it.
Yeah. Falling knives are scary to me. I try to stay away.
Yeah, it's nice to see them prove an actual support bottom first before we
Yeah.
buy into them.
Yep.
Double
Um,
bottom's even better.
Golden Parachute asked if I have any arcs for DXYZ, and I don't, just because it's kind of new, right? I just use fibs right now, and the weekly cloud is forming right here for DXYZ. You can see that the leading span A is starting to form right here, and that's really right at 34.40. So that's really kind of where price is right now. So perhaps that can hold. You also got the 50-week moving average starting to form right down there at 28.60. So I think that, yeah, the low risk reward, where I personally like it the most, is maybe around 30.74 for DXYZ, just to see if it can actually successfully backtest that fib again. So we'll see. But yeah, I think what Tracker was saying, it's almost near a support. It may be a little bit lower, but I think it has potential to start to recover a little bit and then go higher. So once there gets more data, then I'll start to build a longer term GAN. But in the meantime, it's just still pretty new.
Yeah. Speaking of space, I've got a ticker all hawk again. We talked about it when Kat put me on the spot last night and said, "What are some small caps I liked?" Well, this is the first one that came to my mind. Is Lunar Intuitive Machines. They do actually have technology on a lunar mission right now going to the moon, and you can see, after it had some incredible speculation where price like went from in the teens all the way up to like a 10x wick, and then everything came back down to earth. And you can see it spent a long time building a base, kind of started up and then fell down again, but then it really started to make new higher highs. So this is definitely a bullish chart because you got a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and even with the ABC retrace, its low is still higher than the wave 4 low here, which is really promising. Um, so, and it also looks like it might have 1302, 1255. Okay, well, so it made a slightly lower low this week than last week, but I'm still looking for. Let's just again. Let's see. If it was really bullish, it would head straight for the 764 and then get this crazy pullback to the 382. But even just besides that, just look for it to see if it gets to 771, balks a little bit, then flips it from resistance to support, and gets to the 382 at 2090. And if it sends it back down to the 1771, then it's that other kind of chart where I was talking about where it goes 382, 236, 1236. But either way, it's bullish. I like where it's going. My moving average 75 is starting to do this nice curl up on the weekly chart. Let's just see. Maybe it'll take a little longer than I've got it drawn here. A lot of times, what I've been trying to do with this hyperbolic wave is I just kind of get it to match the moving average 75 a bit. Though I've had some charts complete where it completely just like went crazy fast up and didn't really go follow the moving average 75 instead of all of that. Let's just see. I'll leave this one alone for now, but yeah, I'm bullish on this. I've got a position in it. Yeah, I like it. I like Lunar from here.
Very good. I see one for Valvoline here, so I'm going to jump on that. And what I'm really focused on for Valvoline is this 50-month moving average was finally touched after the first time it touched back in October of 2022. So it's another successful back test so far, and I think this could be another higher low that I was searching for the whole time. in this zone, right? It actually did touch it back in January as well. But yeah, I think what we're looking at is potentially trying to bottom here and build a base maybe on top of the 34. Maybe it needs to get sideways a little bit more to touch cloud at some point. But I think it's probably in the beginning stages of perhaps starting to recover. But I don't know if it's really rocket up. Even on the weekly chart, we can see that it's holding the 200-week moving average too. So give it time. But this kind of shows you the range that it might be stuck in, like the bottom of the cloud, 38, and maybe the 35, 34, whatever. So it might just be here for a while before trying to get more bullish. But yeah, Valvoline could be in a bottoming process right now.
Well, if you
I
indulge
think
me,
that's
I have
all.
a
Do you have
final
anything
thought.
else you want to say?
Yeah, just a final thought for the
Yeah.
day. I want to say about the speech last night. You can hear Trump using this phrase, "a golden age, a golden era for America now," and I think that speaks to the fact that Elon Musk has really, been talking to Trump a lot about this new golden age for humanity, and I think it's, they're planning on starting it in America, and eventually it should spread out to the rest of humanity all around the world. But the way my personal take on it is, you know, Doge is really smashing all of the bureaucratic barriers that were slowing their growth down. You know, Tesla and Elon's companies, he wants to keep running them like startups, and he doesn't want to have all this, bureaucratic blockade kind of. He wants to get a lot of stuff done in his lifetime, and this is his opportunity to just get all that bureaucracy out of the way and really start moving his technological advancements along. And so, and I think Trump has bought into Elon's idea, and I think it's got a really good chance of taking place in our lifetime too. So that was my happy takeaway from last night's speech. Just the strong influence of Elon Musk on Trump himself and
Yeah.
his and what's going on right now in this first 100 days, first year of the administration. Get the bureaucratic impediments out of the way, and SpaceX can really start ramping up the pace of their launches, and we can get some other technological improvements going on in other places. Robotaxi, which are just robots on wheels, and then that'll transform into Optimus and humanoid robots running around and helping us everywhere. Well, they won't be running so much because that's scary. They'll be walking around and serving us. they're,
Yes.
they're new. Will be their new overlords and masters. It'll be like ethical slavery, computer
Pretty
slavery.
much.
Yeah.
All right. With that
Right.
said, I got to run, but yeah, just expect things trying to bottom out today, tomorrow, the rest of the week. Let's see if that can happen. But otherwise, don't expect some huge things. Just see if things can continue creating a floor. So, with that said,
Yep.
hope you guys have a good day.
Yep. Good luck out there, everybody. If anything does go crazy up to the upside, be excited, but also a little suspicious.
Yeah. Be patient.
Be patient. That's right. All right. Thanks again, Matt.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.